Now, good morning, class. Today we are working on a skill you've been using and will continue to use throughout your high school and college careers. Now, I know you've all written essays before in the past about various topics, and today we're going to work on an informative essay that will be due next week. Let's see here. To construct your own essay, most of the time we have 3 parts. I have them written up here on the board. We have the introduction paragraph. Does anybody know how many body paragraphs we usually have? Yes, 3. That is correct. And then we have a conclusion paragraph. Now, can anybody tell me what is going to go into our introductory paragraph? A thesis? That is correct. All right. Now, before the thesis, what should we have in this introductory paragraph? Should we just start out with a thesis? Yes.
Do you put an attention getter before the thesis?
Yes, we're going to have a good introductory statement to grab everybody's attention so that they really want to read your essay. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so the entire essay, or most of it's going to be based on these body paragraphs. If we're going to go from the introduction to the body, is there anything that we should have that's going to tell us about what's going on, or should we just start talking about the body paragraphs? Should we bring them up at all in the introductory?
Yeah.
Yes, so make sure that we list those 3 main points. You don't have to have exactly 3 points, but that is the average for this level here. Okay, so our attention grabber. Does anybody know what kind of attention grabber we should have in these essays? Ruby?
Could you have like a quote?
You're going to have a quote by a famous person if it pertains to your topic. We're going to draw topics out of a hat later on. Right now we're just going to discuss, though.
Can you start out with a question?
You could start out with a question. Should we have a rhetorical question? Is a good idea there. You could also cite an opinion, maybe get people either to agree with you or disagree with you. That way they're more interested in reading about your topic. All right, now we're going to move on and talk about the body. Now, each body paragraph should be about 5 to 7 sentences, well constructed. And in between the bodies, we need to link them together with transition sentences. Now, the purpose of a transition statement is to link the 2 body paragraphs together so that it doesn't seem so choppy and it's easier for the reader to keep their focus the entire time. After the body paragraphs, we have our conclusion. Does anybody know what we should include in the conclusion? Yes.
Everything we've talked about?
That is a great idea. All right. So at the end of the conclusion, we want to kind of wrap it around, bring it back to the introduction, and show that we are really closing up the essay here. So what we're going to want to do is restate the thesis. All right, now we spent all this time talking about the body paragraphs. So what we're going to want to do is at the end restate those points that we talked about in our body paragraphs. Make sure the reader fully understands what we were trying to get at the whole time. And then at the end, you're going to want to conclude with a memorable line. Now, if you didn't use a quotation at the top, you could use one down here at the bottom. You probably don't want to use one in both spots unless they link together somehow. You could conclude with a joke or a funny line, just anything that's going to make it memorable. Does anybody have any questions so far? Yes.
How would you write your closer?
How would you write your closer? Let's see, you're going to want to have a smooth transition from your final body paragraph into your conclusion. And then I would start off the conclusion by saying something similar to, now that we've come to the end, or now that we've concluded this point. You can use the word concluded, that way everybody understands for sure exactly where we are so that everybody stays together and nobody gets lost while they're trying to read? That was a great question, Ruby. Any other questions? Yeah.
How many sentences do you want the body paragraphs?
Each body paragraph should have 5 to 7 sentences, well constructed. And you want to vary your sentence length. Don't make every sentence exactly the same. Change your setup. Maybe you want to put the noun first and then talk about the predicate and switch them around. You don't want it to be completely the same the whole time, because even if the reader doesn't actually understand what is being repetitive, they'll understand something is happening over and over again, and that can get a little boring. So make sure you mix up your syntax as well. Anybody else have any other questions? Yes.
What kind of topics do we get to choose from?
I will be drawing topics out of a hat at the end of this explanation.
Okay.
All right.